Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our Get to Know Us segment. My name is Lexi Stone. I'm the social media marketing director for the WEC. I'm here with Candace Zaplek, and we are so excited to have you. Thank you for meeting with me today.
Oh, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
And happy first day of fall, I guess. Now that the
Oh, is
cooler
it?
weather is setting in. Yeah, yesterday was the very first day of fall, so I'm very excited for that change.
Yes, it'll
Awesome.
be very nice to have some cooler weather. I've
Yeah.
noticed it's shifting a little bit, which is nice.
Yes, that's what we
Yeah.
need. Okay, so let's just dive right into it.
Okay.
Can you tell us what you do for a living?
I own Thrivers.com. So I am a personal success catalyst, and I founded Thrivers to really help people tune into their personal genius and find the right balance in work and life that suits them and fits their personality and their preferences and really just helps them thrive in their life and their work. So,
Oh, I love that. That's so creative.
yeah.
I know this is off topic, but not one of my questions, but how did you get started?
Well, geez. Well, I started with advanced psychology work way back in high school.
Hmm.
Fell in love with it. You know, my father's like, oh, you got to go for math and science, go for math and science. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm really passionate about this psychology thing. So went and got a couple of bachelor's degrees, and really it's been on and on since then. My dad was an entrepreneur, so it's just a natural progression. I worked in casework and counseling and things like that. And then when we got back from Germany with my husband, he was in the Army. We got back from Germany. I started my own business when I was like 5 months pregnant with my second son. That was the first one. And it's been an entrepreneurial journey ever since. But Thrivers is the latest and greatest and biggest vision. And I'm just building it and, excited about
Yeah,
what it's going to become.
that's awesome. I love hearing that story. I just kind of developed over time. Okay, and just I want to ask you about the WEC. So, how did you actually get involved with our organization?
Well, I think probably 90% of us, maybe in the whole entire organization, Bobby Govanis is the short answer.
Yes.
Yeah, we knew each other from BNI, Business Network International, and she had approached me back in 2016 about leading a retreat for the WEC board members. And of course, I jumped on board. I didn't know anything about WEC at the time. I was involved with NABO and had come across Bobby there, on and off. I fell in love with all the ladies the minute we did the retreat. I mean, they were just so welcoming and so sweet. I worked them through some personal genius stuff, and then we did a lot of visioning and things like that for not only the year to come in WEC, but also beyond that, and really tuning into what the mission is. And yeah, and I fell in love with the mission. So then shortly thereafter, I had my 2 meetings in, and I ended up at the board meeting where they were approving my application. So, might have jumped the gun just a little bit, but Bobby has a way of inspiring that in people. So, and next thing I know, before that board meeting was over, I had accepted the external communications position. So,
Yeah, no, that leads me to my next question. Perfect. So, like myself, you led the social media efforts for the WEC. Can you tell me something you enjoyed about this role and something maybe you introduced to it, if there was anything?
well, I don't know a lot about the history of it, but when I took over, there wasn't really a whole lot of social media presence or things going on. Wasn't
Mhm.
very active. So I enjoyed diving in and being able to start some systems and some processes and um, just really kind of get the ball rolling with the social media. I mean, since then, they've reorganized the positions and kind of restructured the roles that people are in. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I loved creating the little graphics, and
Mhm.
gosh, Deanna is just phenomenal. So
She's
I
the
could take her little
best.
pieces and then build it into different things. And
Yeah.
and I had post program to go out and things like that, and started with the Facebook groups for the events for the meetings and things. So
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
I
That's
enjoyed that.
good. So we both been in the same position,
Yeah.
and I love that. Can you tell us, like, we're going to shift over to something kind of fun, a fun fact about yourself?
Goodness. I am a second-degree brown belt in karate.
What?
That's something people don't generally know. Yeah.
Is brown right before black belt?
Yes.
Ah,
I'm 2 steps away from black, according to my tradition, I guess I don't know my style. So it was Tang Soo Do, which is
oh.
the traditional route of Taekwondo.
Would you ever go back to get your black belt? Or are you just like, I'm good with brown?
Well, it was something that I achieved when I was younger, and the awareness and the presence and the self-defense, like I used to teach self-defense classes and things like that when I was younger. But yeah, I'd like to get back involved. I don't know if I'd go for a black belt. I'm a little older now. I think I'll
Things
just
work a
take,
little differently.
yeah, I mean, working with bow staffs and doing katas and things like
Yeah,
that.
I
And
love that.
yeah, I don't know. It's not
So,
quite Krav Maga or anything, but I bruise a little easier now.
yeah, and so, but we all still know not to mess with you, that's so great, and that's a cool fact. I'm glad to know that. Okay, my last question for you, and I was reading when you sent me over your questions for our newsletter that you're really into having like a positive energy, crystals, like seeking out, bigger meaning in our feelings and whatnot. So my question for you, and this is a big one, what is something that everyone can take away from 2020?
Mm. When you mentioned that before we started, that's it. 2020 has been just a hellish year. I mean, it really has. And for me personally, I mean, I lost my dog, I lost my mother, I
Oh
lost my
my goodness.
father-in-law, my brother lost his dog.
I'm so sorry.
So it's been a very challenging year. And now my mother-in-law might have cancer.
Oh
So
my goodness.
that's the most recent development of 2020.
I'm so sorry.
Really, I guess my advice to people, or what I've been clinging to, and really what's helped me, excuse me, get through everything, is that spiritual component, and just knowing that everything, despite what things look like, to just really have a relationship with yourself and to get in tune, with who you are, and connect to spirit and connect to your higher self, and know that all things pass, and there's better things to come. And even when difficult challenges arise, there's always something to learn from it. There's always a way to grow through it. There's always something positive. And that's really hard to say. Like,
Yeah.
when you lose your mom, I mean, it's really hard to say, but there are so many things that I've learned from it, and it's helped me to really refocus, and having this time away from everyone. I think one of the most positive things I think that's gonna come from 2020, at least if people embrace it, is we've had an opportunity now to just kind of slow down. Like, we've been forced to. We've been forced to slow down. We've been forced to spend more time by ourselves and not out and about with all of these extra distractions, and too many meetings on our to-do list, and too many of this on our to-do list. So to really just take that time and space that we don't normally get to have, most of us, right? But now we have the time and the space to really just kind of tune in and get to know ourselves better, and get back to our center and what really matters and what's really important, like family and friends and relationships and connections, and loving ourselves, loving other people, all of that good stuff too. So
Yeah, and I think if you, with all of that happened this year, can have that outlook still, I think that there's hope for the rest of us. And that's nothing compared to what, I mean, that's way more than what I've been going through. But wow, thank you for opening up with us and sharing that.
oh,
And I think a lot of people have been going through similar experiences. So it's nice to kind of relate to someone and to hear that you're still, seeking the good and the positive in each day, and just taking everything day by day. And that's why this group is so wonderful, is we can always lean on each other and support each other during these times. So I think that's wonderful. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for hopping on this call with me. I appreciate it. We obviously wanted you to be our spotlight for October for a reason. You're an amazing person to look up to in our organization, and we are so excited to have you as a part of us. Thank you again. And yeah, our next meeting is scheduled for October. What's the second weekend in October? Oh, I had this down.
14th, I think.
14th?
I
Yeah,
think.
so I'll clarify it in the notes if I don't have it right now. I don't have my calendar out. And then, yeah, so everyone's welcome to join. We look forward to seeing everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.